sitting down with Chad Curtin from NRL, and we are going to discuss what is important to when it comes to buyers and buying a house in today's market. So we're going to just jump right into these questions. Chad, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for coming.
No
This is
problem.
awesome.
Absolutely. So my first question is, how can buyers prepare themselves when they start the process of purchasing a home?
Yeah, so early in the process, they could do a self financial checkup. Three things that a bank is going to look at is going to be your credit, your income or employment, and your cash or your assets. So if you kind of take a look at those three pillars that we're going to look at and see where you're at, that's a good start if you're pretty far out before you're right about the purchase.
And what are the benefits of working with a mortgage lender?
Yeah, so this is a big one, right? So we're in a world right now where everything is just like very instant, right? You can get a pre-approval letter in 5 minutes on your phone or online. But the problem with that, especially in this market, is you're not getting to talk through and ask questions and really sit down with a consultant, a professional that's going to show you all of your different options. So whether you're a first-time home buyer or you're buying your 15th house, you have options and you want to be able to customize whether a payment is important to you or how much cash you're putting down is important to you, your term is important to you, whether the financing of the loan, short-term versus long-term benefit. So all these different factors need to come in to the play when you're figuring out what loan that you want. It's very hard to do that instantly in 5 minutes. So the most important thing is working with a trusted consultant, someone that you would prefer and refer, and sitting down with them and going through options. That's the most important thing for me.
That's awesome. And I know you guys have plenty of products as well that
Yes.
you offer for buyers. So what do buyers need to know in this current market? Because it is shifting a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely changing. So, but it still is a seller's market, even though it is shifting right now. So the number one thing is they need to be prepared and being prepared ahead of time. So the hardest thing for me is when a buyer comes to me and they just missed out on their dream house because they weren't already pre-approved, they didn't know what their options were, they weren't ready to go at the time that house popped up. There's a lot of people out there right now that are kind of half in buying and have, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Even if you're in that situation, go get pre-approved, really sit down, find out what the numbers look like, okay? Find out what your options are, put a game plan together, how much cash you're gonna put down, what the term, all of your different options, how you're gonna really put the loan together. And then when the house comes up, you're ready to go. You really wanna put your best foot forward when making the offer, okay? So have some idea of what contingencies that you want to put into that offer. This is kind of in your realm and this is what you specialize in, but the buyer needs to be prepared for that, and a lot of those have to be kind of discussed and game planned out with the mortgage professional. So that's what's really important.
Right, okay, awesome tips. And what does NRL offer typically specifically for buyers who are looking?
Yeah, so we really pride ourselves in taking that consultation approach, the educational approach. It doesn't matter if you are a first-time home buyer or you're literally buying your 15th house, second home, whatever it is. We're still going to treat it where we're showing you options. We're really walking through because especially if you're a first-time home buyer, you're not going to know that you have options. You may just think like, I'm a first-time home buyer, so I have to do this loan. And the same thing goes with the more experienced buyers. They've done this several times, but maybe someone didn't sit down and show them the difference between maybe putting a little bit less down and then you can keep that invested. So it just depends on what your financial situation is. There's going to be a good fit for you.
That's great. That's amazing. And I did have a question. So what would you say to someone who is deciding between renting and purchasing a house?
Oh, that's a great question. And we take it right to the actual numbers. So the first thing we do is we pull up what the rent is for that specific area that they're living in or looking in. And we do that by pulling up this website. And see, we have it already pulled up for Cincinnati, Ohio. You see the prices between studio and 3 bedroom. 3 bedroom right now is $1,800 on average in the Cincinnati area. That's a jump just in 1 year of 26%, which is a common theme that we're seeing with renting. Then we take it over to here and we pull in, and we're going to use a comparison of $259,000 purchase price. That's what the median purchase price in Cincinnati is. So, and we're going to use that $1,800 that we just showed for the rent in the top left. And then this automatically calculates for us what the annual annual rent increase is nationwide. And you see it on that. And then we pop in what their property is going to be, what the taxes would be, kind of plug all of that in for them. And then down in the yellow box is their loan. So we are choosing to use a 5% down loan with a 6% interest rate, which is actually rates are a little bit lower than that already. And then it kind of plugs in all of their particulars on their actual loan. And then for this example, we're using a comparison of 9 years. So that means you're going to purchase the house, you're going to stay in it for 9 years versus renting and starting off rent at $1,800 and you rent over that 9-year period. Now, when we plug all of that in, we get this information up top. All right. So the first thing is these bar graphs. The blue represents the mortgage payment staying consistent and staying the same amount over those 9 years. Okay, so it's a steady payment right across. And then as the rent increases, and again, the annual rent increase percentage is 9.75. As that goes up, that's represented in the purple bars. So you're going to see over time, even though you start off with a higher mortgage payment, over time you end up saving, I believe the number is $54,000 just in cash flow, just on payment alone. Okay, and that's a 9-year period. The next thing that this software shows is the appreciation gain. This is using a forecast of 3.94% over the next 9 years. That's what the average is going to be. I've seen that calculated in several different ways, and that's an accurate number. If you buy at $259, you're going to be at $366 and change over the 9-year period, gaining 107 in appreciation. And then you have the amortization gain, which is just under $35,000. That's just basically your loan being paid down over those 9 years. Take out the cost to sell, and then you add in the tax benefit, and your grand total is just under $170,000. That's the difference in wealth that you'll gain by owning versus renting. This is what we show. And obviously, it's a big deal. I'm very passionate about owning versus renting. I think that's, obviously the American dream. And this is something that really, for me, really illustrates those differences.
That's great. I mean, this is something that I get questions about all the time, and this is such a beautiful way of showing upcoming buyers. It pays to buy.
Yes.
It really does. It pays you in the long run. So, great illustration.
Thank you.
Great.
Or it costs to rent,
Yeah.
right? One of those two,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that was wonderful. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking the time today and explaining that. If you guys need to reach out to Chad, he is here with NRL and Mount Adams. Chad, tell us how we can reach you.
Yeah, just call me, 513-253-7304.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.